The legendary queen, the most famous queen of the earth, one in a power that surrendered before her charms, the most famous leaders and rulers, an icon in adoration and avenging love. But no one knew some of her bloody side which remained hidden for thousands of years. The shocking surprise was recently discovered in the city of Ephesus. Cleopatra's mystery. You wonder about the new that we will introduce in this episode today and related to Cleopatra. It all goes back to the discovery of a mystery that was discovered in the city of Ephesus, which is traced today to Turkey with a sense whose dark aspects refer to a horrific murder, thousands of years old. Cleopatra carried out the rite of her younger sister, Asunwi. The beginning of the puzzle that baffled scientists for many years. In the 20s of the last century, archaeologists were identifying a tomb in the city of Ephesus. A human skeleton was found in the grave. Herein lies the shocking mystery. Customs in the Roman Empire were evoked by burying the dead outside the city. Whom does this skeleton belong to? And what is the relationship of Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, to this puzzle? After careful research and long study, his archaeologist's attention fell on a file of his younger brother Cleopatra, Arsinoe. The question here is, are the bones really belonging to his brother Cleopatra? How did the situation reach the level of murder, and how were they buried in a place far from Egypt? Her hometown. To find out the truth, we have to go back to Egypt. The legend dates back to 51 BC, when Cleopatra's father died, leaving the throne equal to her or her brother. Cleopatra was 18 years old. And I married her younger brother so that they could rule together. This is according to customs and traditions. Common property at this time. Cleopatra desperately wanted to ally with the Romans, but her brother categorically refused this, supported by his other sister, Asunwi. And the majority was the brother of Cleopatra. He won this family war. And yielded. Cleopatra exiled. This was not the end of the story. Her sister's turn was yet to come. Cleopatra considered that revenge on her brother was to get close to Julius and seduce him. This is what actually happened as a result of her beauty and charm that does not exist. It has been known throughout history. Cleopatra took advantage of her small size to enter Julius's room, who was in Egypt. Cleopatra spent the entire night in Julius' room. The sister discovered the matter, so they announced it immediately. He was betrayed and betrayed by the pharaonic kingdom. The attack of the Egyptians on the palace. And Julius took the royal family hostage in order to save his life, because the request for military reinforcements would require a matter of days. It is a long time for the security situation that occurred in Julius' palace. And keep the Egyptians away from the palace. And distracting them. The Romanian military set fire to the city. So the people went to put out the fires from their homes. Until the Roman commander managed to escape from the palace and take refuge in a lighthouse on the island of Pharos, which are considered one of the architectural wonders. I hope to consider the lighthouse design we talked about earlier in the video, and that the architectural design of the lighthouse will solve the mystery of killing his brother Cleopatra. His brother Cleopatra managed to escape from the guards of the Roman commander. She was installed as queen over the revolutionaries, who wanted to overthrow the Roman commander Julius. Cleopatra continued the Egyptians' violent attack on the lighthouse and regained control of it. And it was only on the Roman commander to escape by sea. The lighthouse became a symbol of the victory of his sister Cleopatra, who was a teenager at the time. Julius did not accept this insult. So he summoned military reinforcements and launched an attack on the palace to restore his defeated dignity. The results were the killing of the king of Egypt, Cleopatra's younger brother. The second result is the arrest of Cleopatra's teenage sister. The third and final result is to restore the throne to Cleopatra. After the arrest of his brother, Cleopatra, she was deported to Rome in an iron cage. Julius celebrated this victory and Julius wanted to execute her in this celebration. But due to her young age, crowds of people sympathized with her and spare her life in this celebration. She was exiled thousands of miles away from Egypt, to the city of Ephesus known today in Turkey. She was exiled in a temple, and her residence was likened to political asylum. After only 2 years, from the banishment of his brother Cleopatra, the body of Julius was found murdered. Thus, Cleopatra was able to carry out her plan to kill her sister so that she could rule alone. Cleopatra began to get rid of her younger and last brother by killing him. And only her sisters remained to rule the throne. But killing her sister was not easy, it needed an infernal plan. The password was Cleopatra's charm and beauty. Mark Antony took power after Julius Caesar. He was stationed in Ephesus. The new leader was a banker, and he had many debts. He agreed with Cleopatra to take Egypt's resources to solve his debt problem. She also agreed with Cleopatra to kill her younger sister. Indeed, her younger sister was killed in the courtyard of the temple. The story of killing his sister Cleopatra revealed the mystery of the body they found in the first place. And she would be Cleopatra's sister. Today, the tomb is broken into several parts, but this did not stop scientists. To get to the answer to the riddle, archaeologists, with the help of engineers, surveyed the artifacts. They came up with three-dimensional models of it. Therefore, it is installed on the computer. To find out what the tomb looked like, here comes the surprise. Because it is the same design as the Virus lighthouse that was the symbol of your sister Cleopatra's victory. And that the tomb matches the design of the lighthouse, an incredible shape. This is the first evidence that the buried figure is an Egyptian. The second evidence is that there is a single stone piece from the tomb preserved in a museum in Vienna. Studies have shown that its design reflects the pharaonic civilization. The third clue is the missing skull. It was not found, but scientists were able to make a replica skull. Surprisingly, the computer proved that the skull belonged to a semi-Egyptian. There is no doubt that the young woman is buried in the most important area in Ephesus. She is Arsinoe, his brother, Cleopatra. And now what occupies the minds of scientists is the true form of Cleopatra's sister. What do you think? Does this look like his brother Cleopatra?